All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Tonight, we're going to be talking about the Green Bay Packers. What a difference a couple of weeks makes. Now, Green Bay is currently on their bye week. They're going to be taking on the Denver Broncos just about a week from today. They're sitting at 2-3. Now, on paper, their stats aren't that bad. They're actually the 13th graded offense, scoring about 23 points per game. Defensively, they're giving up about 23 points per game. That's around 18th in the National Football League. Very important to note that Aaron Jones has been injured. Very important to note D-back has been injured. And also just keep in mind, man, it's Jordan Love's first year as a full-time starter. It's just the youngest team in the National Football League, right? So all offseason, all throughout the first 5 games of the regular season, we've been preaching the fact of let's just give it until Thanksgiving. Let's wait and see, because, if you ask me, the Packers defense, the Packers team in general, the coaching staff, whether you like Matt, whether you like Joe, whatever it is, there's too much talent on the roster to have the first pick, the second pick, even in my opinion, a top 10 pick, regardless of if Jordan Love is the guy or if he isn't the guy. Green Bay's winning 6 games. And they're not going to have a top 10 pick. So that's why we've been reiterating the point of just, let's wait and see until Thanksgiving. Now, Green Bay can completely flip the script with a domination victory next week against the Denver Broncos. Denver looks horrible. They kept it close against Kansas City last night, but they just do not look good. So we're going to talk about a couple of things that the Green Bay Packers need to do heading into their bye week outside of just getting healthy. But before we do, if you guys enjoy it, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. Packers fans, I am a diehard cheesehead. I love you guys so much. If you try and get this video to 250 likes, that would mean the world to me. So, one big thing, first off, let's just keep it a buck here. That Raiders loss was embarrassing. It was completely and utterly embarrassing. Now, the stats I don't think are all that indicative of how it looked. Like, for example, Jordan Love threw 3 interceptions. But when you get into the nitty gritty of it, first off, it's the Las Vegas Raiders. I think Las Vegas is better than people give them credit for. But this is a game you need to win. You just need to win. And I think a great example was that 77-yard throw to Christian Watson, and they don't even score a touchdown. Now, the first half for the Packers has been a huge issue, and they need to solve it, and they need to solve it immediately. The Packers currently ranked tied for 29th in the NFL in offensive points scored per game in the first half of the season, with just 5.2 points in the first half. That is terrible. They rank last over the last 3 weeks in that category with just 2 points on average in the first half. That's embarrassing. After scoring 10 points against Chicago and Atlanta in the opening 30 minutes, the Packers have scored 0, 3, and 3 in each of the last 3 games against the Saints, the Lions, and the Raiders. Now, in contrast, Green Bay ranks first in the league in offensive points scored per game in the second half this season with 16. So, Matt LaFleur, when asked about, what's going on here, how can we solve this, he was like, hey, man, I'm also looking for answers. Now, it is important to note that, obviously outside of the fact that the Packers are the youngest team in the National Football League, the cap hit from Aaron Rodgers just kind of going all in Aaron Rodgers' last couple of seasons, it puts the team spending-wise in a difficult position as we saw this past offseason. A lot of your money offensively is going to Aaron Jones and David Bakhtiari. And while those guys have missed a huge chunk of time, Aaron Jones is so critical to the Green Bay Packers offense. D-back is so critical to the Packers offense. Now, the offensive line has held up fine. They've only given up 10 sacks this season. That's good for 10th in the National Football League. But still, it's not an excuse. It just needs to be noted. You still need to win games like this past Monday night against the Las Vegas Raiders. I can understand, not necessarily the 27-3 first half score against the Lions, but I can understand, Detroit right now kind of looks like the 3rd best team in the NFC in general. So I can understand you're losing to the Lions. It does suck that it's at home. What I need to see moving forward with the Green Bay Packers is, because first off, you're getting some important pieces back defensively, and also keep in mind guys like Kenny Clark, Rashawn Gary, they're feasting. Rashawn Gary is feasting this season. Quay Walker, before he got injured, was feasting. Kenny Clark has been feasting. This defense is top 10. They're a top 10 defense when they're healthy, but the offense has to put points up on the board. I need to see some touchdowns. And, Aaron Jones and D-back are going to go a long way. There are also things that I'm just not a big fan of with this Packers offense right now, particularly with the play calling. But once again, I have to keep in mind, and we all have to keep in mind that they're so young. I mean, they're just so young. And we kind of saw the writing on the wall heading into the season. Like, how good can it really be with this young receiving core? Nonetheless, Christian Watson looks great. Luke Musgrave does have his miscues, but, he's a rookie who's played 5 career games. There's 2 players that I noticed, first off, like in the duration of the season, and Dontavian Wicks, and then also Romeo Doubs. Romeo had 1 catch for 4 yards against the Las Vegas Raiders. There's no excuse for that. Romeo is becoming a rising wide receiver 2 in the National Football League. Against that Detroit team, 9 catches, 95 yards. Against the Saints, 5 catches, 73 yards, and a touchdown. The first game against the Chicago Bears, he had 2 touchdowns. He did end up having 4 targets, but 1 catch for 4 yards. That's absolutely unacceptable, and it's also unexcusable. Now, Dontavian Wicks is really interesting to me because he has 7 catches for 95 yards and a touchdown this season. His big game, or big 2 games, 2 catches, 40 yards, and a touchdown against Atlanta. And then he also had 4 catches for 45 yards against the Saints. Now, he is a rookie out of West Virginia, and we're just going to, or Virginia, my apologies. We're going to keep it, he's a rookie, right? But when you get into the statistics, he's the most wide open wide receiver in the league, according to PFF. Dontavian Wicks has been wide open, over 50% of his offensive snaps. Wide open. Get him the damn ball. Jayden Reed, another one of these rookies out of Michigan State that we have just been so excited, so enamored when he showed us flashes for it, particularly in special teams. He's got great speed. That's just one big thing I'm a huge fan of. No matter how this season goes for Green Bay, I love the speed that they're getting. 1 catch, 7 yards, just 2 targets against the Las Vegas Raiders. That doesn't work for me. Against Detroit, 55 yards. The Saints, 63 yards. Atlanta, 37 yards and 2 touchdowns. And even in his rookie debut, 2 catches for 48 yards against the Chicago Bears. I just want to see the ball get into my playmakers' hands. And I need it with Romeo. I need it with Jayden. Getting Christian Watson back healthy is great. Getting A.J. Dillon going this past game was also great. And then obviously D-back and Aaron Jones coming back healthy is going to be a huge difference maker. But to be honest with you, I get it. Denver's on the road. You're coming off a bye week. I mean, they need to win the game. I mean, they absolutely need to win the game. Throw playoff hopes out the window. Throw, regular season record out the window. You've had a week to prepare. Your team is getting healthier and healthier, and you just got embarrassed, completely embarrassed by the Las Vegas Raiders on national television 2 weeks prior. Minnesota, Los Angeles are the 2 weeks following it. To be honest with you, I would be fully happy with a 4-4 record heading into the halfway point of the regular season. Once again, though, after that, you play Pittsburgh, the Chargers, and then we've got that Thanksgiving game against the Lions. By Thanksgiving, we should know, is Jordan Love the quarterback of the future for the Green Bay Packers? If not, adjust accordingly. If he is, perfect. No matter if we make the playoffs, if we win 9 games, whatever it is, we've got our guy. That's all I need to know by the end of this season, but particularly Thanksgiving. Let me know what you guys are thinking, Packers fans, NFL fans from around the world. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content, along with a couple of Packers videos every single week. Guys, I want to hear a confidence grade down below. Me personally, I'm going to just throw it at 5. I'm going to throw it at 5. 10 being overly confident, 1 being we got to figure this out immediately. It's not working. Thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your weekend. We'll see you next time.